It's been 3 days that I'm back, and I still cannot process all the insane news and connections we made. And I'm talking in plural, because I wasn't alone. I was with my great friends, made new friends, met online friends. The crew was large. The Dean's List crew was large. We had everyone. Dean Machine, Taki Sol, Beeman, Alex Pertz, George Kuru, Baba, even Jaris was there. So it was insane to vibe with all these friends. We traveled together, we stayed all together, we got the vans every day to go to Breakpoint, we ate all together, we partied all together. It was insane. Lots of stuff to talk about. There's no way this is going to be a 1 hour stream, so get ready. Put a beer, put a pint. I am drinking today, shout out to my Thessaloniki friends. This is Nymphy beer from Thessaloniki. Really, really tasty. Here is my full glass. Sporting a Network State t-shirt. You'll see on the background there is a Network State flag. And there is Anatoly the cat sleeping behind me. We're sporting the Solana colors. As you see, slowly the studio is getting together. Where are we going to start from? We got to definitely talk about the highlights of Breakpoint. We need to talk about the announcements. We need to talk about the goods and the bads. And we should start from the Network State event, which is a different event. It was adjacent to Breakpoint, so it was 1 day earlier. You could enter the event if you registered and had a Breakpoint ticket, so there was a different Breakpoint Network State event card. Here you go, there's a Network State event card, and then you had the classic Breakpoint one. So we're gonna talk about these things. We're gonna definitely talk a little bit about our hackathon. We were predictors, we were amazing. We had 2 projects out of the 3 that Dean's List incubated win the hackathon. Shout out to PubKey and Beeman and Baba, and shout out to Tatami, which is a mega list from Dean's List members that got the 2nd place in the DAO tooling. So 1st and 2nd place. Amazing, insane, congratulations. And at the same time, congratulations to all the winners. We're gonna go through the winners, we're gonna compare our prediction, because we went over all the fucking projects, so there is a lot of stuff to talk about. And again, Alex Pertz is going crazy, gifting subscriptions. What else do we need to talk about? Yes, we need to talk about Founder School, the best moment of Breakpoint during the day, at least, because the night parties were also good. We're gonna talk about them as well. But Founder School, I got some special material for all the viewers, so we're gonna go through the presentations. We're gonna, of course, these are not my presentations. I'm gonna give you a TLDR. I made sure to keep really good notes on the material. And hopefully we can have a workshop, we can have this ongoing. It has amazing alpha, like alpha from the Solana Foundation, from Solana Labs, from people that have raised hundreds of millions of dollars, from people that have hired talent for Google and Apple and Solana as well. We're gonna talk about how to establish connections with the press and how to maintain your digital, let's say, presence. We're gonna talk about joining DAOs and the role of DAOs in the ecosystem, in the Solana ecosystem. We're gonna do all these things. What else? Let me check my notes. I have a huge list of notes. I'll show you. So if in case you don't believe me, here then. I'm still sharing my pretty face. Sure, highlights. We got the highlights. We got the most important highlight in my mind. We're gonna really talk about that, and then we're gonna talk about Founder School, and I think that's it for today. Mostly, I have to come clean. I'm extremely bullish. I'm extremely excited. Of course, the price action helps. But that's not the catalyst. That's not the reason I am bullish. It's definitely not the price. And I have to say, I'm not selling any Solana at current prices. I know we've had an 80% increase. I'm not suggesting you shouldn't sell. Definitely, that's a completely different subject. We shouldn't touch on that. You do you, I do me. I've sold enough Solana in order to renovate this fucking place, and I feel I'm Solana poor. That's the reason I'm not selling. If you've seen an 80% increase in your portfolio, for God's sake, make sure to take some profit if you have been holding the same bags throughout the bear season. I am personally staking my Solana with the liquid staking provider Jito Finance, and this is before we start everything to give you a TLDR of any portfolio updates and any other changes. So I'm staking with Jito. I am still providing liquidity with Jito Sol on MarginFi, and I am borrowing some extra Solana, which I'm doing again Jito Finance, Jito Sol, and Sol, providing liquidity in that pool. We showed that degenerate DeFi strategy on the previous episode. I felt a little bit weirded out with the last Camino pool, which again was my fault. The Camino pool is perfect. It's just an advanced pool, meaning that you can, it's a two-sided pool, but you can provide liquidity only on one asset, and then once when you want to remove that liquidity, it will remove it on the asset you provided in, so it will not split your deposit into the two equal in value parts of the pool. And that's just an asterisk from the previous episode in order not to feel guilty in case I did not explain things well. Enough with my silly face. Shall we go to not to my notes. Let's start light. And let's change the scenes and let's go. Just to show you what's happening on the merch side. We're starting with this one. I'm gonna go through the, let's say, a couple of pictures that I took with my GoPro, with my picture. This is not a picture I took. This is not me. This is a picture I found on Instagram, I think. And it shows what happens in Solana conferences. If you're going to a Solana conference, my advice is bring an empty suitcase. You're gonna get enough merch, which is going to be weather specific. Shout out to the Solana goodie bag that it included a beautiful rain coat, waterproof, kayak and canoe apparel that was given to everybody. It was required. You'll see here there are like lots of baseball caps, lots of t-shirts, lots of hoodies. What's going on? There's this weird sound around me. I don't know what the fuck, where the fuck is coming from. Hoodies, there is this amazing merch. I think that was the highlight of all the merchandise given. It was the staking facilities. Staking facilities, let's put it, is the validator behind Jito Finance. So all the Solana that you're staking with Jito, and again, I haven't read documentation. Most probably there are more than just one solution, just one validator behind Jito. But I assume since they are since they were also sponsoring this amazing merch, they had this amazing corner, they had a whole cafe in a two-story building in Breakpoint. I would assume they are very happy with how Jito has managed to attract so much liquidity. So this is the hoodie. I see Beeman here is as well. Yeah, we all got merch for our Misus. Miss Beeman also loves the staking facility hoodie. My friend, we live in countries that are extremely warm, and I've already packed the staking facilities together with my snowboard gear. Whew. So yeah, that's what you need to do. Let me see if there is any other picture that we should go through. Here is part of the crew. We were dressed with silly hats. I was wearing a Greek Spartan thing, and here is my Mexican friend. So this was the super team party, pretty good. Lots of this was the bonk the bonk blow up boxing game between Taki and Nom. This is a really pretty picture with the Solfler team where everybody's doing "It smells like Solana Beach." This is an OG quote from one of the very first Whale's Tales where I was exploring Solfler for the very first time, and I could spot the similarities in the design and in the elements used in the Solana Beach Explorer, which kind of gave it away. And I was like, this smells like Solana Beach, and this has stayed as a quote since then. Here is the crew in front of Breakpoint, of the main building. Lots of cool things, lots of little details. You'll never see this. This was just parked on a side with Big Brain Holdings, and they had some raccoons on it. It was pretty awesome. Shout out to Taki Sol for making the amazing Dean's List hoodies in DAO We Trust with our PFP in front. Shout out to the amazing food we had in Petergast, which was this Kentucky brisket smoked barbecue place. It was insane. Here it is. Let me see if there is a possibility to play the video. Let's go, friends. Cheers. Lots of beer, lots of fun. Let me see if there is a picture where I go through the whole venue. Oh yeah, we played Aurorians. So we played in battle. I challenged the guy that was next to me. We played. I lost. It was a fun game. It's not well polished. It doesn't run very well. It's not optimized, but it is something. It looks decent. It looks made by game developers, so that's also good. There was Easter eggs everywhere. Lucy Drake. Shout out to Lucy Drakes. You got the FOMO magazine with Mad Lads. You got the gods. Why would you put the gods in a Solana conference? I don't understand that. Maybe the person who was tasked didn't get the news, or they just reused stuff from the year before. FOMO magazine here. Shout out to, what was his name? Footwax, a Kenyan rapper that was flown for Breakpoint. Lots of monkeys around on our Apple Watches. Lots of NFT looking people that were sporting weird masks. In a funny way, Solana Summer is here. Solana was pumping in 2021. They reused this material. Where else? There was a coffee printer, a latte printer where you could print your NFTs. Pertz, this is Pertz's creation. He chose to print the broken face of Kemosabe. Kemosabe claims that he slipped and hit his face on the ground, and that's the outcome. I don't have a thought of the real event. This is a really happy picture. This is the announcement of the HyperDrive Hackathon winners. As you see, PUBG is first, Tatami is second. Amazing stuff. A cool picture with the whole crew here. As you see, everybody's here. This is a really cool picture. What else? Here I can show you this amazing Australian guy that traveled with a ginormous koala inflatable costume. Shout out to that guy that had the balls to bring this thing. Yeah, that's the journey from my stuff. Now, let me do what? Let me switch the camera so you don't see my empty background to this, and I'll talk a little bit about the highlights of Breakpoint. So, what I consider the highlights. Of course, there are so many highlights. And then I'm going to tell you a little bit about what I didn't like. But let's start with the good things. Or shall we start with the bad things? Fuck it. Let's start with the bad things. What I didn't like. I didn't like Amsterdam's weather. It was raining non-stop. It was cold and windy. And the campus was extremely far away. We had to pay 60 and $65 every time we needed to get to Breakpoint and leave. So yeah, horrible experience there. And as someone put it very, very, very well, Amsterdam sounds very good in theory, but it's too expensive for the average person and has too many bridges to cross. Just like Ethereum. Amsterdam is like Ethereum. Really good in theory, but it's too expensive for the average Joe and has too many bridges. So I didn't like that. I think that NFT projects didn't do well, were not well represented, could not really be part of the narrative, of the Breakpoint narrative. The parties were not that good. I think the people are tired from the continuous parties, and even from the parties, like everybody has gone to these parties. Like, you know who you're gonna see them the next day. Everybody has to wake up at 8:30 in the morning to actually attend the events, the daytime events, the events that we actually traveled for. And what happens is, because there are only very few nights there, what happens is all the parties happen in the same exact night. So people need to choose. And what happens is that the whole crowd breaks into smaller groups, and they either all visit one party and it's extremely overcrowded and everything else is terrible because nobody attended, or they break into small groups and every party looks like attendance is low. And on top of all this, it's obviously a sausage fest. You're going to a Web3 tech conference for degenerate internet people. What you gonna find? It's going to be a cockfest. Sorry for my French. Which means the vibes are not so gentle. It's like dudes with hoodies and neckbeards. So yeah. What else? There was no breakfast in Breakpoint this year. I think it was a good choice. Food was good in general. I think that's it. Overall, it was a better Breakpoint. Yeah, and there was no closing party. Yes, of course. How could I forgot that? Cheers, everyone. The moon. So yeah, those were the negatives. No closing party. Yeah, if you think about the previous year's closing parties, last year was such a disaster. People got injured. So, let's go to the good ones, the highlights. There are many. My notes, I'm gonna be looking that way slightly because I have my notes open. So, highlights. Firedancer testnet, that's my number one highlight. I think that's the biggest news. Dan Albert from the Solana Foundation announced that the Firedancer testnet is live, an important milestone for the network. We'll talk about Firedancer, we're going to discuss its importance, and I'll tell you what it means, because you have to change your narrative for Solana the moment you understand what Firedancer is. Then we got GameShift Beta. Davis Hart from the Solana Labs introduced a beta version of GameShift, which is an API that simplifies Web3 gaming development process. So this is a tool coming from Web2 and is launched now for the Solana to include Solana integrations. So it will have the Solana library, and you will be able to pull information and be able to write on chain and use all these things. It's going to bring it closer to Web2 game developers, which is really, really good. We got an announcement from James Tromans, which is the Google Cloud integration, and it was announced from Google and in collaboration with Google's BigQuery and Solana, and this is like enhancing the data capabilities on the network. So Solana is going to be faster. I don't know how to explain it. I have a little question mark on this note because I don't know how to explain it. I can't understand like where exactly this is used. We have Etherfuse stable bonds. This is an investment product in collaboration with the Mexican government offering tokenized bonds. We got the XP Ticket Marketplace, which is a Web3 native ticket marketplace using the Solana blockchain, and it's in collaboration with Intel. This talk was by Michel Latzer. And what's that? There is also other things, like there is a hardware wallet I see here, Rider One. There's a loyalty program by a Boba chain. Orca, our beloved liquidity platform, announced a new LP terminal, which kind of revamps the whole their whole UI and a little bit the process how the investor approaches providing liquidity with together some safeguards. There was the introduction of Friday mobile app, which is a consumer application and protocol on mobile. There is the Render Network upgrade, which is the migration of the core infrastructure of Render Network from Ethereum to Solana. Looks like people are seeing what's going on with Solana and Ethereum. Asterisk on this one. In the end of the list, I need to talk a little bit about that. To give you an example of what's going on, to zoom out and understand. Jupiter, of course, announced huge airdrop to the community and USDC integration. So the plan is to integrate Circle's cross-chain transfer protocol for native USDC on Solana. So you'll have embedded on the Jupiter platform a cross-chain integration which goes through the bridges of Circle. So you'll be able to go Solana Tron, and I'm using Tron because Tron and Solana are the main platforms, the main blockchains that Circle and the USDC or EuroC stablecoins are launched on. This is the clearance plat. These are the clearance blockchains, their main deployment blockchains, Solana and Tron, and Ethereum as well. BuddyLink global launch, Sci-Fi DAO showcase, Land TV, and streaming and token gating. It's just like lots of announcements. Oh, half the camera is frozen. Let me see what we can do about that. Give me a second, guys, and small break for to reset the camera. And we're back without much interruption. Woo! Does this work? One more. So where were we? Yes. Lots and lots of announcement. And like these ecosystem announcements really reflect the diverse and expanding scope of the projects in Solana. You'll see everything, new verticals are added every couple of months with every couple of hackathons. Like from financial products to hardware wallets to streaming services to social networks to infrastructure is just insane. But what I want to go back and talk about two things. I really want to talk about the importance of Firedancer, explain a little bit what Firedancer is, and I also want us to talk a little bit about why Ethereum projects are going to start looking to Solana more and more. And it only makes sense. Let me make sure that you can hear me well. Okay. Ethereum has, in the state that it is currently, surrounded by layer 2s in order to allow scaling, feels like you are in a futuristic or archaic, maybe, Cosmos ecosystem, where the Cosmos hub is in the middle, now Ethereum is in the middle, and all around are side chains. In the Ethereum example, there are L2s. So Ethereum creates a new protocol, has a soft fork, has a hard fork, has a protocol upgrade, and then the L2s can check it, see if they need it, and integrate it if required, or ignore it if not. So there is this L2 competition surrounding Ethereum. That was not the original vision. You shouldn't have to gamble on which sidechain is going to prevail. You want a network that scales. And this is why Solana is going to gain traction. So, excited about how Solana is kind of conquering the vision Ethereum had. If you disagree, please, if you have a different kind of view on this thing, write me on Twitter. I'm really interested. Let's talk about Firedancer. Firedancer. What is Firedancer? So Firedancer is a new validator client for the Solana blockchain. Okay. A validator is a participant in the network and validates transaction and maintains the ledger. There are voting validators and non-voting validators. So there are, think about them like voting if the correct state of the blockchain, on the correct state of the blockchain, on the longest chain, if you want to put it even simpler, and the non-voting ones who just are looking. When you're staking your Solana with a validator, you're staking them to a voting validator, because in order to vote, in order for your vote to have weight, you need to have stake and aligned incentives with the rest of the network. And how do you signal that? You signal that by holding a large stake. And that's why a validator requires a lot of Solana to operate. What is it to be a profitable validator? 50,000 Sol. It's a lot. But then there are the non-voting validators. The validators that are just looking. And you need 0 Sol for that. But what you need hardware. You need hardware to process all these things. And why do you need hardware? In order to process the program, the validator client, which is going to be processing all the information from all these fast blocks that Solana is producing. The goal of Solana, as always, is to increase throughput and be more performance and do more transactions, yada. But was also to kind of tackle the negative narrative of Solana is too expensive to run a validator. Solana is a centralized chain because in order to run a validator, even a non-voting one, you need over $500 per month on hardware and cloud shit. And that was a valid kind of argument, because everybody should be able to validate, since nobody should trust. The whole motto of this industry is do not trust, validate. If you make validate too expensive, you're kind of defeating the purpose. So what did Solana do? And let's backtrack. A third advantage is having only one validator client is like having a monopoly, is like not being able to switch providers if one becomes malicious. If one pivots its position on the network and starts introducing upgrades that are against the holders, the users, the dApps, etc. You need to be able to choose and go with the other guys. And that was a huge point Ethereum had with all these different validator clients. And what Solana did is they put a lot of money together with Jump Capital in order to develop this thing. And this thing has been in development for the past 2 years. And what did they achieve? They achieved a new validator client, which requires about $50 a month, so a 10x decrease. You need 10 times less money to now check the network. For $50, this starts to feel like a Raspberry Pi kind of validator. And listen to this now. We all know Solana is on Rust, and this is an efficient programming language, which is kind of like new age. I'm not a developer, so I'm just telling you what I've heard from developer friends. The new validator client on the Solana blockchain is written in C++, which is reliable and has a really high performance, which kind of allows so many developers to get their hands dirty. It's insane. Like, when Anatoly was talking about Firedancer, Anatoly Yakuvenko, not Anatoly the cat that is sleeping over there, he said that his dream, his initial dream, was to build Solana and the Solana validator, the Solana validator client, on C. But he said that no matter the amount of funding and no matter the amount of talent back in that day that he was dreaming about it, that would have been impossible. And here we are a couple of years later, and it's functional. And it's going to be soon live. Beta is there. So yeah, C++, performance and reliability, which is a critical for the demand that the high throughput Solana blockchain has. I mean, it's important, and it's a new independent implementation to the validator client. It's decentralization on a chain doesn't only refer to the distribution of nodes. It's the diversity of the software clients and the risks associated with bugs, with vulnerabilities, with any problem that there is in a single code database. It's in a single code base. It ensures no single party has control over the code. In general, the ecosystem is more resilient, is more secure, and of course, clients can coexist. This is not a war. This is not, oh, now everybody will want, like most probably Firedancer will get a really, really large portion of the network, but I am 100% sure that the Solana Foundation will make sure to incentivize or to even fund the more expensive validator. Maybe this is my wrong interpretation, but even the old validator clients will be able to utilize these high performance upgrades from Firedancer to the old client and reduce and participate equally. So yeah, Firedancer, extremely important. TLDR. Let me see now how we're going to do this, because what am I going to, how are we going to approach this? Okay. Let me think. Shall we go? Like, I want us to talk a little bit about Founder School. So Founder School was an event organized by Dean Machine and Dean's List DAO, but mostly shout out to Dean Machine for putting together this event. And he was the MC. He was not the one actually bringing his presentation and pitching. But he's an amazing MC. He's really good at providing value at on all kinds of stuff. So the guests and the people that were called to present were all behemoths of the industry. It was a little like, I felt the ticket price for Breakpoint was not enough to cover Founder School as a separate on its own event. In order to listen to Vibu present you the secrets of fundraising and remove any filters and just really tell you how it's really done. It gives you goosebumps, honestly. I could not believe I was there listening to these OGs, these behemoths, giving me tips. Insanity. My God. So how am I gonna start? Let me see. First of all, let me think. I have the Founder School presentation. Let's change. Enough with my silly face. And let's go to main desktop. Let's go. And here I have the Founder School presentations. And so we started with Emon. I'm gonna go really fast. I don't want to tire you guys, but I really think there is value in this, and I really hope people whisper me and tell me, hey, can you give me the slides? I really want to learn from these people. Here's my trial period. Skip this step. If you have any CDKs for what's it called? Adobe Acrobat X, please send one over. So yeah, Emon presented on how to build your company alongside Solana Labs. Like, I'll just give you a very quick rundown. So it outlines the unique challenges of building in Web3, but it also tells you how Solana Labs can help you build your own project. What are the resources they can provide? What are the resources they cannot provide, obviously. But if you are going to build something on the Solana ecosystem, you should reach out. And they have an amazing program running at the moment, which is going to conclude end of November. So go to the Solana Labs internet page and search. You'll find where to apply for this program. And they even have programs where they fly founders to their New York offices, and they spend months all together building, designing, and shipping and coding. So he talked about the challenges of building on the Solana ecosystem, the monetization, the user interface, the whole Web3 narrative. He spoke about what Solana Labs can help in terms of resources, the fundraising support, the help with the distribution, help with product design, help with hiring talent, help with deep technical expertise, and kind of connecting you with the whole ecosystem. They also said what they cannot do, which is like vouch for you or write articles about you or stuff like that. You'll have their support, but you understand that they cannot do everything for you. 5 points of support. Here you go. Hands-on engineering, design and go-to-market, fundraising, labs distribution, network of connections. Amazing stuff. So it says, sure, they're gonna help you with marketing, fundraising, distribution. What else? What else? What is my lines? My lines is like, they're promoting growth. They have a lot of funds on the side and they're willing to share all the knowledge they have. Eamon Motamedi is really, really good. He came from Reddit. He knows how to talk, he knows how to present, he knows how to build things. Realms is his baby. He was responsible for that. And he's responsible for many other things in the Solana ecosystem. You might not know about these OGs that are working behind the scenes. Since we're talking about Emon, small parenthesis, make sure to go check the podcast that Realms has. And you'll see that there is Solana dueling here. There is a podcast with Emon, myself, and Taki Sol talking about DAO tooling and generally the Solana governance layer. And you'll see there is like with Nom, the latest episode is with Nom. We have one with David Phelps, huge guy. We have one with Don Dwala from Dual Finance. We have one with so many actually, with Lollipop, with Noah from Helium Foundation, so many things. So go check that. Like it, listen to it, put it on repeat, help us. So we had this presentation from Emon. Then we went to my favorite, that was Vibu. Vibu's presentation was fire. Honestly, guys, it was fire. Let me open my notes. I have a lot of notes on this one because it was a really, really good presentation. I have to go fast. But he really removed the filter. So yeah, he's a good guy to give you advice. He has raised over like $200 million for various companies. And he talks about things that might sound weird in the first listen, in the first go. But they make sense. So, building a better deck. The advice here is to use narrative titles and single-purpose slides. Make sure you showcase your best content first. Like imagine that people that are viewing your pitch decks are going to be paying attention to the first two slides, mediocre attention on the next two, and everything else you've lost them. So make sure you are focusing on the best, on the future potential, and make sure you include an appendix where, in case you have questions, you can show your audience that you are prepared. And if you are not prepared, don't freestyle it. Don't come up with some information. Note it down. Make sure to answer to the person who asked the question at a timely manner. But also, if this question was asked at a pitch hearing, at the pitch meeting, make sure to include it in your appendix. And make sure to populate your appendix with questions that have been asked during your pitches. Pitching crypto-specific learnings. This is a little bit about the crypto VCs, ghost VCs, what you need to look at those VCs, look at their L1 positions, look if they're holding Solana, Sol token. And the key takeaway here in my note is consolidate smaller checks into a larger round, especially if we're talking about earlier rounds. make sure to get as much portfolio synergy as possible. And yeah, vet your VCs, own your narrative, and what is mine? Like going slide by slide is gonna take us so long, and this is not very audience friendly. So know your customer. It stresses the importance of understanding specific desires of different venture capitalists. So understand that there is a meta even in venture capitalists. So if the big fund, the big boys are investing in X, then the meta is that even the smaller ones will jump in an opportunity to invest in something that looks like X or is adjusting to X. So if the meta is X, make sure to incorporate X. So know your meta, know your customer, know your synergies. Fast follow-ups, I think is here. Fast follow-ups and fast moving on. So create a document like here on the right side. This is something that you can even share with your cap table to show who you are talking to, and make sure to get intros. Cold openers don't really work. You need to follow up, and you need to know when to move on from investors that are not responding to you. Meaning that a non-response is a polite no. There are very low chances that someone that is not responding to you actually wants to invest in your project. People that want to invest in you, you'll see it. So don't waste your time. Don't waste your hopium. Asking for introductions. Very important. Turn fundraising into a viral process. Warm intros at a later stage, employing effective communication strategies to different funding stages. So yeah, every round is different. The first round is the easiest round, is the one where you make the most noise. It's a little bit like a reality show, and your social media presence is extremely important, and you need to be careful. Every now and then I need to be looking at my camera in case my face or the half of the thing has dropped off. So yeah, asking for intros. So here about I'm looking at my notes at the same time. So on this one is about check sizes and about and how you're going to approach your investors, meaning that give them FOMO. Tell them that you know how much you want to raise, that you are closing the round, and you're not thinking between a margin between 10 and $20 million. It's very different if you're going for 10. It's very different if you're going for 20. And it kind of signals to your investors that you're not really close to closing your round. You're still at the beginning. So know what you're doing, and make sure to communicate with anybody that has shown interest. Send positive news, send notes, and make sure to have follow-up calls. And this is an amazing slide. What you are raising is not happening to you. So what you say, we are hoping to raise 3 to 5 millions. What I hear, you are very early in your process, because 3 and 5 is a wide range. I need to close this round by February. We are not in a rush. We don't have a lead yet, but we have a few investors digging in. You do not have a process. What the fuck? We have been working on this for 3 years. What I hear, you do not know how to ship. There is no way you're a startup and you haven't released something in the past 3 years. How do you do it? we're close, and this is the important. This is the most important thing. We're closing on a term sheet in 3 weeks. The round is full, but I feel like you really get it. How quickly can you get through your decision-making process? And this signals that this is closing, they have a process, they do not need us, and they will move forward without us. There is other VCs have backed them. Are they competing? Do we need to be in that cup? This is an insane slide. This is insane. Fundraising is a numbers game. It depends. I mean, you have this. There are. You need to adjust your pitch to your VC. You're not gonna change your business in order to appeal your VC. You're gonna change your pitch. And you really need to show them that there is a huge margin for you above their investability floor. So like that you are in control of your game. What to do after a meeting. Okay, learn to build. By the time you go public, sure. Fundraising is about narratives. Here you go. This is the toughest thing for founders to learn. No surprise. It links you to founding in a cohesive pursuit of truth, and nobody else quite understands it. But the truth is a market and meta that changes frequently. It's your business. You decide how to talk about it. And this is important. So this tells you that you can talk big and your vision can be big. And the way you communicate your vision is your actual vision. So if you're trying to be grounded and kind of have to apologize a little bit for thinking big and planning to go big, and you also feel that you don't really deserve building all these things, these are bullshit. You are a superhero and you control your narrative. And if you're building something that will, I don't know, create a Dyson sphere around our galaxy, and this is what you think you're going to achieve, go for it. Dream big. Talk about it big. And then, it might sound shitty, but this is how our world works. Like, adjust your data to fit your mission. Like, there is always data that will support your mission. I'm not saying go complete crazy and start using data, small sample sizes, and weaponize the scientific research in order to pitch, but definitely adjust your window to your universe. Build down from business, not build down from vision, not up from business. You're not going to talk about what is possible in today's conditions. You're going to talk about your vision, and then you're going to showcase how your vision is going to become reality, not how reality is going to become your vision. There's a lot of stuff. And this is how to work down your vision, unit economics, how to showcase numbers in order to look better but still be real. There was some guy that really thought that the advice here was lie, but that's certainly not lying. So, whereas problem solving, emphasize the power of narrative in fundraiser and encourage founders to overcome their imposter syndrome in reminding them that many successful businesses were not profitable for years. Focus on the broader vision of the business rather than the current status. You might not be profitable tomorrow, but you are building for a better future. Make sure to construct your pitch to align with the vision and not with the current ugly reality. What else? Expanding your search pool, which is manufacture FOMO. How to create a sense of urgency. And yes, you need to create a sense of urgency. And this is a beautiful example. Look at this. I plan to raise 1 million and I have raised 500,000 so far. I plan to raise 400k, but we ended up raising 500. So what happens here is it shows that you had higher expectations and you did not achieve your goals. So you were 50%. So you're presenting this is a loser mentality. We didn't make it. Versus we planned to raise 400,000 and we exceeded it by 100k. So presenting your statement of your $500,000 raise has very different outcomes. You can present it as a loser statement or as a winner statement. And the same applies on the second. I have 100 users spending $100 a month. We expected to have 50 users, but we ended up having double, and they are already spending $100 a month. So again, the way you present it. Manufacture FOMO, create a sense of urgency, high demand among potential investors, and this is also manages their expectations. And this is your opportunity. And the fundraising checklist, own your process, start only when you're ready, build a pipeline. Have a vision, and own your reality, own your universe. Graphs are important. People look at graphs. You can always create graphs that are positive to your cause, and this is a fun formula: reality minus expectations. So when expectations exceed reality, this is when you get FOMO. I'll never do as good of a job as Vibu did. So if you manage somehow to find Vibu talking at a conference on that, make sure to enter the room. Be there. Cheers to everyone. Let's go quickly, like we had Megan from the Solana Foundation that spoke about communication. It was good. It was good on how to talk about your announcements, how to actually talk to media, strategic communication, beneficial relationships, and how to maintain them, how to leverage them, how to maintain a close circle of journalists. Be very careful on Twitter, be very careful on your history, some issues that you might find, like some basics to keep in mind here. The essential of a press release, the factual informations, the absence of marketing language, like things that kind of signal to the audience that you are a snake oil salesman. Basics, tips, and takeaways. So this is all about communication. And the news pipeline on how to kind of control it, how to not control it, but how to affect it. Let's put it like that. And this was a cool talk because it had lots of common sense points where make sure not to talk about things that are unrelated. Make sure to talk about the positive things. Make sure to choose your press. Make sure to have a plan on how to keep the journalists around you or the media around you interested, and have a pipeline of products, of news and announcement in order to keep their attention. Really cool stuff. Really cool stuff. Going fast because we are already past the 1 hour 1 hour mark. So yeah, we had a talk from Phil. That was an insane talk. This is Phil from Airfoil. Airfoil is a Web3 design agency that has designed lots of cool dApps in the Solana ecosystem. So you'll see Solana Pay, you'll see Euler, you'll see Hyperspace, Elusive, Utopia, so many, Bonfida, and the guy went around and it was an interactive presentation, and he was asking, where does your eye go when you see this slide, and what is there that you need to first look at, what is it asking you to actually do. So that was a really cool talk. So the guy is an amazing presenter. That's like, for sure, yes, what he builds is really beautiful, but his presentation skills are excellent. Like here, I'll read you straight from my notes. It began by defining design as an act of communication, which requires deep understanding. And he also talked about how to communicate this to your designers, to prepare, and how to prepare your users for points of friction and managing your users' attention. It gave this amazing concept of a health bar, where every visitor of your dApp, of your page, has a health bar, like an RPG game, where the more they stay in your web page or in your dApp, they lose interest, and you need to have these little tricks in order to recapture their attention. So there's like really cool slides. Here, I'll find some. This is too big of a. This was a nice example where, instead of like asking you to share your contacts straight from the application, your phone drops you a pop-up, presents you with a pop-up that says, hey, now this application is asking to connect with your contacts, versus first informing the user that this is going to happen and why this is happening before he's actually hit by the pop-up, and preparing your customer for this point of friction. So that was really cool. The idea with the health bar, that was extremely easy to understand. Another amazing, let's say, little hint that he gave is use fat marker sketches. So when you want to communicate your ideal web page to your Web3 designer that is not in your head, but also you cannot really tie his her hands, and not allow him to actually have some degrees of freedom in order to implement your order. So, and fat market sketches is when you use a really fat market in order to sketch something which does not allow you to add lots of details, which allows you to communicate the overall design and what actually captures what are the important points, but also allows the designer to have some degrees of freedom. And this is a way to actually capture increase the health bar of your audience if they are kind of getting fatigued while navigating in your dApp. Give them a little gift. Give them a little bit of serotonin, with a nice gem, something that's made for them. It might seem trivial for a power user, sometimes even time wasting, but it's very important for onboarding a new member. So yeah, he called this breadboarding, and to outline the design and fat marker sketches to provide a rough visual guide. The presentation concluded with essential to-dos, like starting with why from your landing page to product copy, setting success metrics beyond the number of users, giving first in the onboarding flow, ensuring each page has a single point of focus, and explain, like, get your audience to understand your narrative, understand why you built that, and then present him with a solution. Don't present him with a solution and the audience thinks that this is a solution looking for a problem. Explain why you made it and slowly bring him into the core of your product. It was an amazing presentation around this user-centric communication style where onboarding and retaining user base and kind of making users to spend as much time as possible in your product is important. So if you're looking to build a beautiful user experience for your power users, for your clientele, I would suggest you contact this guy, Phil Hadatnia, co-founder of and CEO of Airfoil. Here is his. Here you go. You can always scan it. The really good presentation. We had a presentation from Eric on recruiting. Let me find my notes on that. Recruiting, that's from Eric Bukov, head of talent at Solana Labs, and he outlined the strategic importance of hiring of good hires in your startup. I mean, it's obvious. I know that you need talented people to have a successful startup. Obviously. And your people is your number one asset in the startup world. You don't have any tech yet. You don't have any prototypes. You don't have anything. It's your people in the beginning. And this was a presentation on how to hire. This is the guy who worked at Google, Apple, Meta. And he's just he's telling you these things on how important it is to attract talent. And how to mitigate hiring risks. Mitigating hiring risks. Enforceable employment agreement. Make sure everything is written down. Termination clause. IP set expectation and legal rights. Not surprised by anything. Yeah, all the little things. If you're a startup looking to hire and you have a vast pool of candidates and you don't know how to pick, why not reach out to Eric and trust me, he'll help you for sure, 100%. Then we had a talk from Super Team. So that was Kash Danda that actually spoke about Super Team and how they're onboarding and what is their style and what do they focus on and how to gain XP and all these things. We've talked about that. We know Super Team. We are Super Team members. He spoke about the events that Super Team organizes, about the little check that any person in any country in the world, if they are willing to organize a Super Team event, they can get the check of $200 and actually organize it. On how to actually increase your ranking on the Super Team leaderboards and the XP leaderboards. It was very interesting. There was a panel with all the network states and not the networks, the active real DAOs of the Solana Web3 employment DAOs. Let's put it like that. These are revenue generating DAOs. These are not NFT communities. So we had a panel with Dean's List, with Super Team, with the Solana Union, and one more party. Taki Sol was representing Dean's List, and they talk about how they offer opportunities in Web3, how the DAOs are working with the Solana Foundation, what they are bringing to the Solana ecosystem in terms of decentralization, to a layer of decentralization actually with transparent treasuries and transparent rules of distribution. So that was a really cool one. I don't want to forget anybody. So we said Vibu, we said Imon, we said Cash, Phil, Eric, and Imon. And we had an impromptu visit from Anatoly. Insane. He gave us a quick Q&A. Let me see if I have a quick, let me see, do I have, here it is. So yeah, Anatoly joined us and he answered questions, and he was very casual and very friendly, and yeah, really cool. Really cool. Yeah, that was Founder School. There was a lot of alpha if you are looking to start a new company, a lot of alpha if you are already running a startup. These guys are there to help you. Make sure to not let these kind of resources go untapped. Next subject. Enough with Founder School. We're gonna make sure this Founder School happens again. We're gonna make sure that this happens as often as possible, either online, either IRL. It doesn't matter. We're gonna bring this kind of knowledge and alpha to our peers. Yeah. Last topic that I want to talk about are the hackathon results. I really want to talk a little bit about our prediction. Dean's List was a judge in the overall hackathon. I feel very honored because I feel that Dean's List notes were taken into consideration seriously and actually helped. It was really beautiful because we had notes on every single project, and the Solana's approach to the hackathon judges, the hackathon winners, and all these beautiful projects that submitted was not superficial. There were calls happening between judges constantly, and at some point, Dean's List was asked to defend their choices. And it was a magical moment because at the snap of our fingers, the whole crew assembled and everybody opened their laptops. We sat around a nice picnic table outside. We were fortunate enough that we had like 6 minutes of no rain. And we jumped in a call with all the important people in the Solana ecosystem. And we defended our choices. And they listened to us and agreed with us and gave us credit. And we felt that people listened. And they were open to changing their minds. And in the end, I felt that we had a huge influence on who won. And it wasn't because we are some important party, but we just demonstrated that our choices were not random, and we went deep into research and researching who the founders were, what the history is, what the fundraising history is, how many hackathons they won before, how open source it is, what kind of Solana connections they have, what kind of new tech are they bringing, how viable of a business this is, how active in social media they are, like so many things. We rated project in so many verticals, in so many ways, and then we assigned experts to actually look at code. I didn't look the code. What am I going? How is my opinion any relevant at looking the code? No. I'm not relevant at all. But we had Baba, we had Biman, we had people that are actually literate, and they could give us some specialized opinion. So yeah, our process was awesome. I think it yielded results, and it felt that Solana cared about it and used and amplified their voice. So what happened is, let me find the... Let me find the winners. I have somewhere here the winners. Here we go. No. So let me find it. Here we go. So, Flaxbeam won. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Let me find now. So let's take this here. Let's take this here. And I can share this in order to make it transparent to everyone. I'll share it on Twitch. I think that's the nicest thing. So you'll see what we proposed. Oh my god, I don't have Twitch open. Give me a second. So if you want to see our prediction, you'll notice that I submitted this on the 27th of October. This is way before any hackathon results were public. We had no information from any other judge. So this is at a vacuum. We are grading things at a vacuum. You'll notice that we have many winners. So Soda, Aperture, Watchtower, all of them winners. Tatami, Dioth, PubKey, DAO Create, Soulkeeper, SoulLinked, Juicer, 3TV, I don't know if 3TV won. EPPlex, here you go, man. EPPlex, yes, it won on infra. I thought it was infrastructure as well. My friend Burger Bob, though, decided that this is game and entertainment. So I did not want to be the one telling him what he's creating exactly, so I let him pick his categories. And yeah, I needed to make EPPlex win somewhere. I didn't really care if it's a game, and I have to say, gaming shit was kind of poor. But shout out to Sol C for winning. So yeah, you'll notice Shaga as well. Shaga as well. So you'll see that we have, out of the 988 projects, guys, do you realize 988 projects, we reviewed them all, and what are the chances that we predicted like 9 winners, 10 winners out of the 35? That's not easy. Just understand what kind of work we are doing in Dean's List, and I highly recommend and I strongly encourage you to get a business visa, join us. There is so much work to do. And yeah, if you have deep pockets and you're sure about the opportunities of Web3 employment in Solana, then that's a no-brainer. You buy the NFT, you become a citizen, and you come and join us into reviewing the hackathon winners, documenting their journey, doing workshops and seminars about competition, go-to-market, pitching, connections on the Solana ecosystem, introductions, then judging the hackathons, working with realms, running media, providing feedback, like so much. There is so much work. There is so much work. There is so much work that we're going to increase our prices and add a disclaimer that the queue is so huge that we have to find a way to discourage. Like, we don't have enough power users. We don't have enough talent. So join us. Buy an NFT. Get a business visa. It's free. I don't know, engage, join the spaces, join this stream. Make sure to be part of this movement. You're missing out. You're missing out on opportunities that go way beyond holding shitcoins and drinking hopium on some kind of fictional APY banana contract. You know? And it's gonna feel so good, and you're gonna feel so connected to the ecosystem, and your experience at Breakpoint next year is going to be extremely different. So, Dean's List, join Dean's List. That's what you need. That's what you need, and trust me. It's so much more than what you think it is. It goes so beyond, and just a quick one, because just going to deanslist.services, you'll see the dashboard immediately. You'll see that people are actually making money. $130,000 distributed, and this is in dollars, not in shitcoins. So yeah, join Deanslist. Don't join Deanslist. And before we close, because we are closing to the 1.5 hours mark, guys. Athens DAO is happening on the 9th and 10th of December. It is the Solana Hacker House for DAOs. This is organized by Dean's List with the Solana Foundation. All the important DAOs are going to be represented. We have support from local universities. We have support from the biggest Solana DAOs. We have support from Solana ecosystem itself. And this is the second year that we're running this event. The previous one was sold out, and I am pretty sure this year's one is going to be sold out. It's important to attend if you're in DAOs or you are looking for employment in Web3. It's important to attend if you're building tools. It's important to attend if you're in the Solana ecosystem in any of those DAOs. Important projects like Mango, like Monkey DAO, like Light Protocol, like Realms, like so many people are going to be there. PubKey and Tatami are also sponsoring. So yeah, all the important players are there. Make sure not to miss it. And on that note, I think we're gonna close it somewhere here. Cheers to Legend. Cheers to all the lovely friends that are watching from Twitter, from Twitch, from YouTube, from 3TV. Shout out to Alex Pertz. Shout out to Nanko, to Biman, to Legend, to Salami, to Bianon, to Stara Yush, to who else? To Butter. I mean, everybody. Takisol, the Machine. Everybody's there. Shout out to the lovely friends that are watching from Twitter. Yeah, I hope it works. And make sure not to get shaken out, guys. The bull market is coming. Solana is a prime contestant at going to the moon. Vibes are there. Ecosystem is there. Developers are there, more than 75 developers, trust me on this one. And there are ways for you to join. I'm here. Reach out, join Dean's List, help us achieve, help us distribute the funds to the Solana ecosystem in the best way possible. On that note, guys, stay awake. Stay positive, stay sleepless, stay curious, stay positive. We're gonna make it. We knew we're gonna make it. It just feels closer now. I love you all. These streams make me extremely happy. I want to continue doing this. I want to I want to include even more contact. We need to shout louder. We need to make more noise. Tell your friends, tell your neighbors, tell your parents, tell your grandparents. Join us for Whale's Tales next week again. I love you all. Don't get shaken out. And yeah. Bye guys. We're gonna make it. We're gonna make it.